Hey guys, alright, I wanna see if this works. All new info. I had to rebuild my computer, so I'm not sure. Let's see. If anybody's in here, just reply to this, and we will get it popping. Sorry I'm late. Okay, good, one person. 3 people. Okay, cool. Alright, so it works. Hey everybody, I'm Mike Thompson. Was having some computer difficulties, but I'm up now and running, and I hope everybody is doing well during this global apocalypse. Am I sharing my screen? Yes, I am. Okay, all right. So I haven't streamed in a while, but let's get it started. What am I doing? All right, so I figured today what I would do is I want to cut up that Hulk, like I've been saying it forever. I do want to print it. I have my 3D printer over there. Hey, what's going on? Kevin, Shanir, how you doing? All right, so I have my print over here. Sorry I don't have music today. Again, it is, what can I tell you? Things are crazy. So it's going to be a quiet one today. Let's move this off the screen. I want to make sure I'm not showing anything I'm not supposed to. Hulk. Alright, so let's go back to ZBrush actually. Alright, so in ZBrush I have my guy. I don't know what that is. Okay, there's a base. Okay, cool. So what I have here, if I can get it to stop doing that. Why is it doing that? Seriously? Hold on one second, guys. Frame. Oh, Boolean is turned on. I turn off Boolean. There you go. Alright, so I have my guy here. I was using Booleans to cut him into parts. So if we go to solo this out, you can see that I have my part here. This is what I want to do with Hulk today. Where's my chat? Where did my chat go? Hold on a second. For real? Oh, man. Sorry, this is crazy. My chat disappeared, you guys. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let me set this so it stays on top. Appearance. Come on, man. Stay on top. Where's stay on top? Settings. Yeah, so dude, you gotta be kidding me. There's a way to make this thing stay on top. If anybody knows, let me know. Good morning, everybody. Sorry, this is crazy. Filtering, Discord, filtering. Appearance, it should be stay on top. Let's see. Nope. Unbelievable. Yeah, so just to let you know, I had some computer problems before. I ended up basically having to completely rebuild my machine from scratch and reinstall everything. So I lost all of my settings. I lost everything here. Yeah, and that's why I can't embed and stream. Let's try that. I'll try it, whatever. Let's see. Settings, appearance. Wait, where'd you see embed and stream? Setting, oh, right here. Yeah, I think that's for later. That's not for now. There used to be a thing here that would just say, stick it on top. Always on top. And I don't see it now. Compact mode. Doesn't do anything. That means every time I click on ZBrush. Alright, I'm going to put stream over here. Forget this. This is stupid. Putting it over here. Back to chat. Boom. That's there. Okay, I'm just going to be doing this the whole time, looking back and forth. Oh, wait a minute. Mo update. Okay, all right, fine, whatever. So, if I go back here to my ZBrush, which is now on the wrong screen. It's that day, you guys. There it is. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, so if you look here, I have all these pieces that are cut for this guy, right? So these were all pieces that were, there's the leg that you're looking at right there, okay? So I'm gonna do that to Hulk. I've been talking about doing it forever. I also thought that I would hop over to show you how I did a little bit of the texturing on him. So, like right now I have him in here. I ended up applying the skin tone that I made in Substance. Thought it might be cool to jump over to Substance and show you real quick how I did that. If I turn on the live boolean, you can see it turns off all the things that I have here. But today what I want to do is I want to cut this guy up, and I definitely want to print him. So let's do a quick screenshot real quick. I'm just going to do a little screenshot. See any questions? What's the name of the chat app? It's Restream.io. Hey, what's up, Attentive Slug? Randy Dice, what's up? Alright, cool. Alright, so we're just going to take this guy and do a screenshot of him. Save to the desktop. Right. Go over to Photoshop. File open. Desktop. So I actually made a couple of renders that I wanted to show you guys too if you haven't seen them. I did post them on Facebook, but just like some dramatic lighting I thought was kind of cool. And then this one, it's super dark. I don't know if it's because, it's probably because I have the blinds open so you can see me, but it's hard to see this guy. For whatever reason, his face looks wacky. Don't look at his face. It sucks. I'll fix it. All right, so let's get started. Put on my glove. Have a sip of water from my cup. What is, no, what is that? No, COVID, not COVID. It's cool. I'm not drinking coronavirus, you guys. It's just water. No, you're worried. All right, and then let's start chopping this guy up, shall we? Let's do a little something. Turn this down so I can see. Make a new layer. If you have any questions about anything, it's under appearance, Mike. All right, let's find that. Chat. Settings. Appearance. Where? I don't see it. It was before. I don't know why it's not here now. This is weird. Yeah, I don't have it here. Scale. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Reply to commands. I want that, yeah. Back to chat. Overlay. Alright, cool. From here you want to know. Okay, wait a minute. Here we go. Much love. You want about the appearance in the chat. Alright, sorry guys, hold on 1 second. I want to get this right. I don't want to have to keep looking back and forth. Video settings. Settings. Appearance. Yeah, they changed it. It's not there now. Appearance. Nothing. Just compact and show viewer counter. So, I don't know. This is not, by the way, I didn't have the proper download. Maybe this is just the OBS version. So it sticks on OBS, probably. But it's whatever. I'm not going to mess with it. Hey, what is up? Thank you, thank you. Okay, all right, cool. So let's get back to it. Let's get my brush here. Size it down. cool. All right, so what I'm thinking for this guy is, and the reason I haven't cut him up and started printing already is because he's so wide. I want to print this at not exactly quarter scale because it would be huge, but probably as tall as him. So 22 inches, 24 inches, something like that. So what I don't want is I don't want this kind of a thing happening. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want the arm to look like that. I could probably do a cut like that and then have his body print as one thing, but it's going to be really wide, right? That's going to limit me. So what I was thinking is I would do kind of this thing, cut around the pecs, right? And then hide the seam in the muscles. And then obviously for his waist, I'm going to cut it like right inside of that belt line and have the key. For his legs, I could print this all as one piece to probably here, right? So the legs are one piece. Then this is this leg is its own piece, obviously. Same with this leg. And hands, I'm going to want to print those on their own. I just have better luck with the hands if I don't print the arm as all one piece. So I did that with Zion. I'm going to do that with him. And then clearly the head is its own thing. So I would probably chop that. I'll probably chop it like right here since his head is so deep into his shoulders there. So this is what I'm thinking. Like this. Yeah, and then the inside of this would kind of look like this deal, right? So let's start it. I'm going to use this as my reference. File, save as, desktop. Hope to cut as a JPEG. And you guys are lucky. I had a giant apocalypse bush an hour ago. I got my clippers in the mail yesterday, so I did a quick cut, and it's not too shabby. I mean, it could be worse, you know, whatever. So that's that. All right, let's see. What's up, David? 10 of slug, been some time. Trick to get rid of the seams in the print. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Bondo. Yeah, so for what I did with this guy is when I put him together. Sorry, hold on a second. It's weird being so quiet, right? It kind of is boring without music. But when I put him together, I hid the seams. So I knew that these compression shorts were going to fit inside of these regular shorts. So I have it so that it would go underneath of the edge and then hide, right? So that's hidden in there. And then I had to do very little cleanup. With his waist, same deal. It tucked down into the waist of his shorts. And then I was able to go in with, actually I got wood filler. They make gray wood filler, believe it or not. So I got some gray wood filler and put that in there. And same thing for the arms. I seam the arms into the jersey. It's easy when you have clothes, right? I'm doing this thing right now for a client where the character has these sleeves, and you can hide the sleeves in the or hide the arms in the sleeves rather, right? So, oh, by the way, wearing my Sideshow shirt, they sent me a bunch of swag, which is really cool of them. It doesn't say Sideshow all over the place. It's weird. They have like real. This is how I design clothes when I was working at Echo. You know, and other places I would do stuff where it was real low key. You didn't have giant brands all over the place. But it's cool unless you want to promote the thing, and then it just looks like a comic shirt, and you have to be like, nah, it's for these guys. But yeah, had to. What's up, hat? So, all right, let's get started. Boom. Let's hide this guy. We have him over here. I'm going to open up my Pure Ref, like always. I hope. Hold on one second. Let's move this because I don't want to. Oh, good. Okay, I don't want to show any proprietary. I'm working on a lot of projects for clients that I can't show. So, load. No, I don't want to load anything. Let's just pop these in here. And these. Okay. And take these. Select them all. Images. Arrange. Optimal. Boom. Okay, there's that. Okay. So now I can go to my guy here, put this here, right? And there are going to be 50 people that ask throughout the stream, what am I using? This is called PureRef, P-U-R-R-E-F. What's up, Sean? The printer I have is a Ender 5, which is, pardon my messy room. It's right there. I had to put that box on there because my cat loves to sit on the build platform. So that happens, right? Let's get this over here. But yeah, Ender 5, I love it. It's dope. And it just so happens that because it is a filament printer, I don't have the same problem that everybody who prints with resin is having right now, where you can't get alcohol because of this pandemic. Everybody's buying up all the alcohol. You can't get it. So the first thing I want to do with this thing, you guys, is I have this issue where my sizing is all over the place because there's no real set scale in ZBrush. I tend to, and I always kind of just start from a scratch thing and don't pay attention to it. I can have one model that's 50 feet tall and one that's like 2 inches tall. So I have to even this out. Now I talked to Paul about Scale Master. That's how I got the Zion on point, because I actually did that. Look at that. Look how tiny he is down there. It's like, this is Zion down here, this little thing, and this is Hulk. Right? So clearly a little bit of a size dispersion here. I'm going to go over here. I know that the Zion is this the one that's sized? Let me make sure. Load. Final Cut and Keyed, is that the one? Alright, I just want to make sure that I have the right one. Which, if it was, I feel like I would not have the Boolean pieces. Right? If I turn off live Boolean. That ain't right. That's not supposed to be there, which means that this is not the final. ZBrush. Cut and Keyed. Final Cut and Keyed. 729. I think this is it. Open this. Alright. So that is thinking about it. Let me see some questions. Trick for getting rid of seams. Yeah, I already talked about that. Where's the tunes? Sorry, man. My computer is... I lost everything. I had to start installing everything from scratch. So no music today. It's quiet. It's just quiet. We're chilling. You know? Clippers paid for themselves. I know, right? Yeah, it was all over the place yesterday. It was crazy. And you see, I'm just letting this kind of grow in. I am going to get like a Walking Dead beard if I can. Like right now it's patchy because it's in that ugly phase, but I don't have to go outside, so sorry. Hello from Istanbul. Were you doing some VFX? I was not. Your cat sleeps on it. Yeah. She goes where she wants to go, you know. What's up, Ken? Arturo Martin, what's going on? From Mexico, what's up? Keyshot memory issue. Okay, all right. So yeah, no, and in fact, it was exactly what you said it was. So for Keyshot, I was doing renders, and for Keyshot, I was doing my renders, and I was running into issues where it was. What's going on? Hold on 1 second. Okay, let's try it again. Yeah, I was running into issues where it would not let me use the GPU renderer, and it's because the card that I have, I bought a 2080 Ti, and it comes with, the whatever the memory is for that, 8 gigs, whatever it is, I don't know. You would think that because the the RTX cards are so popular that Keyshot would work around that, but it doesn't. So I need more memory than it has, and so that's why I run into the issue. All right, so this is the one I know works. If I was to blast this into pieces, you see that it's cut, and all these are separate pieces, and I got the head way up there somewhere. I wish that when these things exploded, I love how it explodes. I wish there was a way to do it where it did not shoot off of the screen, like it would shoot the pieces closer together, but it doesn't. If anybody knows how to do that, let me know. All right. Anyway, so there are my pieces. I'm going to turn my light down because it's a little bright here. Turn off this light. Center this one and turn it down a little bit. All right. So this one I know is 2 size. I sent it to my cutting software, and everything worked out fine. Right. So I want this to be I want this to be the same size for the Hulk, basically. So I'm going to take this guy, right? I am going to, and he's all decimated already. Let's see if we have any questions. What's up, Sam? Jalo. Sean. When you cancel, I already did that one. Ken. How to follow on Twitter? What? Follow me on Twitter? It's just, I don't have it on the bottom. Everything is Mike T Artworks for me. So look at the bottom of my screen down here. Like that's everything is Mike T Artworks. Unless it's my YouTube and then there's no S, it's Mike T Artwork. How tall is the Zion statue? 22 inches tall. So I wanted it to be roughly the size of my Captain America by Daniel Bell. That's kind of like the sweet spot for me. I like that as a quarter scale. So that's what I did. And in fact, when I was sizing this, I took his head and went and put it next to my cap head. So if I take off, I have a custom cap head that I got, by the way. So, which is a little larger, but if I look at the, actually, it's a bit larger, but it's close. You can see the scale is close, right? So, like that. So anyway, that's about the scale. Okay. Do I have ZBrush curves in ZBrush? Do you have ZBrush curves in ZBrush Core? I don't know. I don't use ZBrush Core. If anybody in here uses it, please answer. Explode should let you move the pieces. What you want, remember? Wait, move the pieces. Move where? Remember, you want to use it. So if I go to the explode and I click on it, I'm guessing that in preferences there would be something about that. Somewhere. Somewhere. It's in here somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, It always shoots them off too far for me. Alright, can you show some noise maker techniques? For texture? Sure. Sure, I can do that. Alright, so if I go back to my Hulk, which is going to be massive. Watch the size of this. So big you can't even see it. Let's see, is it going to quit on me? Haha. Alright, there's the noise. I wanna get these up kind of the same size. Let me do that real quick, because that's crazy. There's Zion way down there. So what I'm gonna do for him is I'm going to go to, and it always takes me time to figure this out. Paul has walked me through this several times, and I always kind of get a little off on it, but there's Scale Master, right? And right now, if I set my scene scale, you can see it is, you can choose what you want it to be here, but I want to do, hold on, escape, Scale Master. I'm going to do a bounding box. Okay, so there's my bounding box, and what this does when I click on this is it is roughly it's actually approximately the size of the entire statue. So if I would go to transparent, you can see that the statue is inside of there, right? From the base to the top of his head. Hey, what's up, man? Telling you could do that with Heck. It should be a feature if it isn't already. Okay, cool. So yeah, there's my size, and if I click on this bounding box, which I'm on right now, and I go to my Scale Master, if I was to look at it in inches, first I want to set the scene scale to inches, okay. And this is approximately what it would be. So it'd probably be helpful if I had a ruler. Let me get a ruler real quick. Hold on a second. It's on the floor. All right. So if I go, let me get my trusty ruler here, and I measure. Don't look at the mess. It's messy over here. All right, and I measure this guy. I can see he is, okay, he's not as tall as I thought, right? He's about 18 inches tall, right? From base to the top of his head. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so, put the camera back over here. I know he's about 18 inches tall. So if I go back over to my plugin, then I can see, like I set the scale, and you can see he's 18.25 inches. So if I measure one more time, it actually works out to exactly 18 and a quarter, right? So I know that's right. That's perfect, actually. So I want Hulk to be probably 24 inches tall, right? That's going to be a big ass sculpt. But let's see what it looks like. All right, so if I go back to Hulk, you can see he's so big you can't even see him here. Alright, so let's come over here. I want to measure just Hulk. I don't care about the rest of this stuff. So I'm going to solo him out. I'm going to go to the Z plugin, and actually let's do this. Let's go to, I want to boolean that floor out, that ground first. So let's turn off solo. Let's turn on boolean. Right. If I turn it off, you see that there's more of the rocks there. So for now, let's do this. I don't really care about these rocks, right? I don't love this base. I'm gonna turn it off. Okay, I only care about Hulk. And if I turn off the like turn on Boolean, then it flattens out his feet, right? Like that, which is good because then he'll stand up on my table. I'll eventually figure out a base, but for now, I'm like, whatever. So what I can do is I can measure him. Let's turn this off. You know, I'm going to keep that on for now. Let's just say that this is the base. And I'm going to go to my Z plugin and set scene scale. All right, so you can see he's massive, right? He's so big. So I don't want that. I don't want that. So what I can do is I can turn on everything. Okay. And just to get a basic idea, like look at that box. The thing is tiny, man. I'm going to take this box and turn it off. And then I'm going to go up to Zion here. Frame them. And I'm going to do a merge visible. So that'll just kind of put him off on his own thing with all these parts. So now all those are one subtool, it's all one thing. But now I have an idea of how big I want Hulk to be. So if I go and grab my, if I go and grab Hulk here, God, he is so huge, man. Frame. Come over here, I'm going to grab everything with my gizmo. And I'm going to turn on all the little layers here. So what this does is it will scale everything. Now if I have anything masked, it's not going to scale it. So let's just see if I have anything masked. Yeah, I do, right? I have the pieces of the pants. So let's go to the pants. Solo it out. I'm going to turn off color for everything so you can see what's going on. Clear the mask. I feel like it's not. Maybe it's these. Oh yeah, that's what it was. All right, so it's the stitches. Stitches. All right, let's see if there's any more questions. Wow, it's last time in the chat. Where I can, oh, pure ref. It's, let me type it in. P-U-R-R-E-F. Pure ref. Just Google it. You can download it for free. It is, they like to have people donate. It's a really good app if you want to give some money to them and support the cause. Yeah, hey Theory, I'm doing well. Stream done in, oh, the texture done in Substance. Yeah, no, I could totally append Hulk to Zion and then match. That's kind of what I'm going to do. I was doing it the long way around. But yes, so the texture for him was done in Substance Painter. And I do want to show you guys that real quick. I haven't opened Substance in a while, but let's see if I can open it without it crashing. This is good for me because I don't think I've ever gone into Substance for a stream. So I don't know what state this version was in. What I was doing was that underpainting technique that I do, where I bring in the like the subdermal colors, you know, and then the hot and cold colors, and then paint on top of it. This is big. There he is. It's big. All right, so big that it's not going to res up for a while. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's go back. And turn on both. Oh no, crap! I don't want to go into there. That's iRay. No. All right, hold on. It's going to go to iRay. Spell the printer that I use. Sure, it is a Creality. Ender Ality. I think that's right. Ender 5 is the one that I have. All right, and this is obviously not. Yeah, that's not. That's all right. Let me get out of here. I want to get out of here. Okay. Come over here. Turn my shadows on so it looks a little better. And there you go. All right. Let's turn on the 3D and 2D. Wow, why is everything zoomed in so close? All right. Let's turn off this. And let me get a different environment map. I think I want something that's flat so you guys can see it. Let's go with this one. Low contrast, no. I want studio. This is okay. Yeah. So what you can see here is his arm, right? And the way that I did this thing, this is like Rico. What's up, dude? Yeah, Decimate. Yes. Yeah. Well, so what I did was this is gonna go over some people's heads. I'm gonna do this real simple because this is not kind of what I wanted to do today. But I have a low res version of this guy, and I have the high res version. The high res version has all of his textures kind of baked in. All those skin tones, all the skin pores and everything are baked into him. So if we zoom into the hand, you can see that that's all kind of baked in there, right? If I move the light, you can see it. And in fact, if I go and turn off if I turn off the skin tone, it's going to update. I have this linked to the other parts of him, and so it should turn off the green for everything. Fingers crossed. Well, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe. Looks like it's turning off for some of it. So what I did was I made this skin as multiple layers and hand painted everything. This is all hand painted, and then as I layer up the things, I would break up the surface texture and make it look like yeah, it's weird. Okay, it did some of it, not all of it. I don't know why. Why would it do that? Or unless it's still, it's still doing it. All right, still processing. Yeah, but then I put the green on after, on top of everything as like a opacity map, and then it kind of makes it look like a dude with green skin as opposed to, just a green guy, if that makes any sense. All right, so that should turn off everything but the hands for some reason, right? But he looks weird without he looks weird without the green on him. But what you can see here, if I turn this around and get the light right, if I go to turn on just one thing, like his arm here, and zoom in, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time in here. This is a ZBrush stream, not a Substance stream, but yeah, if I start turning off these things here, and it lets me, then you'll see if I turn off all of this, I'll be able to go down to the base layer, which is the way that I did the bishop months and months and months ago, right? So I did the bishop in ZBrush with poly painting, and I put down basically reds and yellows and blues to be the under structure of the skin, and then when you lay a color on top of that, it starts to look more and more realistic, right? So you got to remember, I'm coming from a painter background, so this might be, I don't know, it may not make sense the way I'm explaining it to you, but you can see when this is done. Man, oh man, this file is heavy. It's probably because I'm running OBS. But yeah, so this is what I had, right? Like, this is the underpainting of his arm, and because the shadow areas are that dark blue, then they kind of recede back underneath of the skin, and then the red areas are like the midtones, and then those yellows are the high areas on the skin, and they just pop, right? So, and those are all their own layer too. Like, you can cut off the blue and the red, and I mean the blue and the yellow, and then there's just the red. So these are just some layers I did. Turn the blue back on. It'll probably run faster if I turn this down. Yeah, I don't need it to be 4K. I'll turn it down to 2K if it lets me. Come on, baby. All right, 2K. There you go. It's a little better. And there's the yellow. Yeah, so it's moving faster. Right, and then I painted in the veins. It's all hand painted based on what I already did in ZBrush. So I had sculpted all this stuff into my guy in ZBrush. If we go back over to ZBrush, and it lets us, which it doesn't look like it's... Okay, really? Oh. I don't know why it's switching to my other monitor for some reason. That's not cool. Let's turn that off. Turn this back on. Yeah, so if we come over to him and zoom in, you see that all of that detail was already kind of sculpted in there, and all of the skin pores I already kind of put those in as well, right? So that's all in there. If we go back to substance, I baked it into the mesh, and then I started adding colors. So if I put my skin tone on top of here, then it will just add like some peach on top of that, add like a low opacity, and that makes it look like, you know, already it looks more realistic than if I did not have those colors on. It would just look like flat paint if you just put on just the regular color. So I have that on there, and then I just kind of went in and put in extra stuff, added a vein color on top of that, started messing with putting some broken veins on top of that, and when I was done with all that, it looks more realistic, right? It's still taking a long time. It's because I have all this stuff open in OBS. I'm going to drink some water. No, I use ZBrush for all of the UVs for this, and then I took those into Maya and I reordered them so I could make UDIMs. And again, if it's just flying over people's head, I just learned all this, like literally working on this piece. But basically UDIMs are the UVs, which is, if you flatten out everything, for anybody that doesn't know, anybody new to 3D, if you're to take me and you know, slice off parts of me and lay me out flat, it would be really gross, and I don't know why you would want to do that, but I would look like this arm right here, right? Like that's what it would look like if my arm was flat. And so I took all of those UVs, and you can apply the texture to them. So I made them separately as UDIMs in Maya, and then brought them into Substance, and then painted on top of them. So if I was to turn off all of this color, which I totally could do, like if I had turned off everything, then you'll see that this is just, it's just the model like it looks in ZBrush, right? Once it finishes doing its thing. All right. Yeah, so this is what it would be, right? This is the arm. And you can see that it just baked that high res detail onto the low res map, and then and then I can just paint it, and then I can take it into, I did some renders. There is a, let me just show you this if I can find it. I did one on the Pixelogic, I think it was the Pixelogic group in Facebook, and it was just no color, but it looked nice because it was just rendered in V-Ray. I-Ray, sorry. I-Ray, man. All right, so anyway, let's get back into this guy. Right, I'm going to size him to match that Zion. So what I can do at this point, and he's 30 million polys. It's not ridiculous, but he's kind of big. So what I would do at this point is I'm going to look at the Zion, which is way down there. He's teeny. I'm going to copy him and paste him into the Hulk. Let's paste. And he's going to be somewhere around here. Okay. See, this is the thing. I've been using ZBrush for years. The sizing thing confuses the hell out of me, I'll be honest with you. So you saw that he was tiny on the other file. When I bring him in here, he's bigger than Hulk. So I don't want to do that. I think I want to bring Hulk into the Zion file. So let's do that. I'm going to get rid of this. Delete. Oh, it's okay. So I'm going to I'm going to take him and copy him, and then let's come over to this one and paste. Now he should be big. Alright, you know what? Yeah. This is the only thing. Like, this is why, honestly, people have, hey, how come you didn't print Hulk yet? It's because this is frustrating to me, and I don't like it. Bothers me. Bothers me that the sizing is all over the place. But they do have ZBrush Scale Master, which I'm going to use. So I know I want this guy to be 20 some inches, or 22 inches tall. So I'm just going to go into him and size him up right now. Right, I'm just being silly about how I'm doing this. All right, so I'm going to take all of this, go back to my gizmo with the layer selected here. And I know he's kind of big, so I'm just going to scale him down some. It doesn't matter what size he is right now. I just know that he's too big. So let's frame this. Now, if I go into the plugin for Scale Master and I set the scene scale to, it's okay. I'm just going to say okay. Wait, what's happening? Oh, it's scaling everything. I just wanted to set the scene scale. I didn't want it to actually do this. I'm just going to let it do its thing and then stop it when it's finished. Anyway. All right. How do you not have seams visible in the image substance? Paint over the seams. Yeah, they're not very apparent. When I was cutting the all right, hold on one second here. Inches. All right, so this is close to what I want, right? I know that it's 15 inches tall. I can always make them bigger, right? But 10 by 15 by 9 is closest to what I want. So I'm going to select this one. Okay, so now he should be 15 inches tall, right? So if I were to go and make that bounding box like I had before, new bounding box subtool. All right, there's the bounding box. Okay, he's inside of there. So now this box is going to tell me exactly how tall it is from the bottom of the base, which is actually a Boolean, so you know that's not going to be there anyway, but it gives me an approximation of how tall he is. So let's go and look, and right now, like I said, it's 15 inches tall from the bottom of that live Boolean piece to the top of his head. What I want him to be is about from the top of his feet, bottom of his feet to the top of his head. I'd like for him to be about, I'm gonna say 18, no. How about 19 inches? I'll make him 19 inches tall for just him. So if I go to his subtool and select it, right, and hide, it's on solo right now, but everything else is there. And then I go to the plugin, because I have him selected, 15 inches. Wait a minute, let me see something. This is where it gets confusing. Okay, no. All right, I'm going to select him, and I'm going to go to the size. I know I want him to be, what did I say, 19 inches tall? I'll plug in 19. And I want to resize all, right? So what this will do, if I make him 19, theoretically what this will do is it's going to size up all of my subtools to match his size. So let's turn off solo. Let's go back here. I have him selected still, right? I want him 19, and I'm going to say resize. And let's see what happens. So everything should get larger here. And it's doing it one subtool at a time. This should work. This is the way I did the Zion piece, so it should be fine. Let's see if there's any more questions. Yeah, the pants are sculpted entirely in ZBrush. I just made a low res kind of like Q cube, and then divided it and went in and sculpted a lot of detail and just kept doing more and more detail. Does a pen copy and keep the scale? I believe it does. I just do it wrong every time. All right, good rule of thumb, use Shane's ruler. Yeah. Now, so I have a ruler by Shane. I have another ruler by my friend Odell. And it's one of those things where it's, I use it when I remember. The thing about it is, it's best to use that before you start all this, right? Like, it actually is better if I size him before I do any of the sculpting and detailing and all that stuff. I just always forget, or I'm in a rush. All right, so if I turn this on now, I have transparency, so I can see everything here. I'm gonna go back to hide. Let's just hide the stuff on the ground, and let's hide the bounding box as well. Okay, so now if I go and I select Hulk, and I go up here and I look at the size, he should still be, he's 19 inches, right? So that's good, that's the size that I want him. So I know that from the bottom of his feet to the top of his head are going to be about a little taller than Zion. Geez, a little taller than Zion, right? So that's just him. I'll figure out a base later. This is, I mean, honestly, man, I've been working on this thing for so long, it's ridiculous. But I don't care. I think if he stands up on my desk, it's a win. So I just want to make sure that I bullion his feet, bullion his feet, so that they're flat on the bottom and he stands up, right? So now he's the size I want. I'm going to grab him, and if I export him as a OBJ here, this is just a test desktop. I'm going to say Hulk body. Okay, I'm going to export just the OBJ, and then I'm going to append him to Zion, and the size should be a little bit taller. Then I know it worked. Hopefully, we'll see. I didn't reply to you. Where's the question? How do you not have the seams? Oh. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Yeah, so they're just, if I go back to substance, they just kind of line up. They're not visible. I don't really have to do a whole lot of painting to camouflage them. I can show you that when this thing is done. I don't want to make it crash, it's thinking. But I will show you. Let's see. Can I resolve the stretching issue on Noisemaker? Yeah, so if you have your UVs, then and you apply the noise by UV as opposed to just doing a projection, it doesn't stretch on the sides. So let me know, are you using UVs or are you just doing just a regular projection? Scale export STL files for 3D printing. No problems. Okay. What's up, Tony? All right, cool. All right, this is not good. What's happening? Oh, merging UVs. Oh, no, let me stop this. Stop. Stop, no. Okay. All right, so this is what you don't do. I forgot that this is the body that is not decimated, which means that I'm trying to make an OBJ out of an 18 million face model. Don't do that, ever, right? I have a good computer and it's still like, what are you doing right now? So when I decimate him down, he's going to be much smaller than this. So don't do it anyway. Let's see. I think it's going to crash anyway, but I think I can get into substance still. Yeah. All right. So you see where all these cuts are. You would think that you'd be able to see the seams everywhere. As long as I'm painting on all of the pieces to kind of match up, which is, I guess, what you asked in the first place. Am I painting out the seams? The answer would be yeah. So let's go and grab the hand, turn that on. And then if I turn on all of the colors for these, then it should be a little bit of a better match. Let's turn off these greens and turn on the arms. Where's the arms? Turn back on all the color for these guys. Boom, 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 boom. Main color. And of course, and this. All right. So when these res up, it should look a little better, hopefully. Everything is thinking. OBS is kind of dragging, and then I also have a lot of big models open in different applications. I've got everything open, actually. Start closing some stuff. I don't need this open. Close this. Photoshop I can close. I don't need this anymore. Let's close this. No. All right. So when this is done, if it isn't an exact match, then that's just because I didn't paint it exactly the same. But you can see that it's pretty close. You kind of lose that seam on the arm. Right, if I move the light around here. Come on, dude. Seriously. This is the other thing. Switching between, there it is. Switching between these programs, I lose track of the key commands. It's like playing on an Xbox and going to a PlayStation. But yeah, you see that seam kind of disappears, right? So anyway, that's that. Yeah, ZBrush is a wash. I'm gonna have to restart here. Close the program. Let's try it again. That was my bad. That's not ZBrush's fault. I'm going to be doing a stream for Corel the end of next month, by the way. I'll be doing a painting of Venom Pool, if you guys want to see that. Anybody who also is a painter or illustrator, that's what I do mostly for a living. I just started sculpting and getting paid for it. But I do movie posters and toy boxes and blah, 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 blah. Me. Hey, everything me. All right, let's get back to this. Let's open up this one. Okay, it's unfortunate. Let's see, use UV's alpha noise, but I'm still stretching where it curves. Yeah, you might want to make new UVs. Let's try it. Document size. Double. When I crash, the document usually gets smaller. So let's, man, I got water all over my keyboard just now. That's not cool. Hold on a sec. All right. Turn this on. Oh, look, I have a ruler in here. Frame. Come on, dude. Frame. Hide. I have a ruler right there. But I don't want that ruler on. Go back to Hulk. And, this is probably not the one that got sized. So let's do that again. Okay. Frame. AF. Zoom in. All right. So let's go back to the Z plugin. Scale master. I want to set the scene scale, which is going to make the whole thing go all over again. Yes. All right, it's going to think about it and size everything. So that's going. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention, Randy. That was the 30 million. It wasn't the decimated. That's why it cracked up ZBrush. Is it easier to paint on the UV texture instead of the model itself? So that's a good question. Like, I like poly painting. I like painting right on the model, but it's resolution dependent. So if you want to get a lot of detail in there, you're going to have to divide your model up a lot, right? If you want to, like, say I wanted to go in and paint these pores or even apply the pores, I had to divide it up super high in order to get that. Before I added the pores, this thing was like 15 million. not even. It's like 12. When I added the pores in order to be able to support that detail, it brought it up super high. All right, so I want this to be in inches. Yeah, look at this now. I know I don't want this to be 100 inches tall. All right, that's not good. So I'm going to say for now, I want it to be in inches. I'm going to go with the smaller size, the 4 inches tall, right? So now he's only 4 inches tall. A little smaller than I want. So I'm going to go and make another bounding box for everything. We'll turn on everything again. Turn on everything again, like that. Frame it so you can see everything. And I'm going to make a bounding box like that. I don't want that ruler in there. Is a ruler inside of there? No, it's not. All right, cool. All right, so that's just what I have visible, which is fine. Okay, and so now again, I'm going to go back to the Hulk, right? If I solo him, it's just him, and I know that I want him to be 19 inches tall. So I'll say 19, tab, okay. So now when I hit resize, because I have resize all, it's going to size all of the subtools up to match him. He'll become 19 from 4. Everything else will proportionally scale with him. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to turn off solo, and I'm going to hit resize subtool all. And you'll see it'll do some crazy stretchy stuff. And you get all up in his feet. And it looks massive right now, but it's okay. Like it will. Hopefully it'll be right. Should be right. Any other questions? Oh, Ten of Slug on Twitter. Oh, you sent me one? Yeah, me? Sure. I don't know why I have to approve. I think I got, I had some issues with some weirdo one time, and I went in and like cracked down on all my social media, but I'm going to approve that. Approve that follower request. Here it is right here. Da, da, da. Approve everybody. So, done. All right. A lot of subtools here. It's doing its thing. Thank you, Southern Cross. Okay, which is the size of resolution of the file for export to Photoshop? To Photoshop? Under document is usually where that size is. Poly painted. Yeah, for this I painted it in Substance. How do you paint over the seams in Substance with UDIMs? You kind of don't. You just paint it the way that you normally would. If it's something that, like, I mean, if you're trying to paint a hand coming into the arm, you're gonna just eyeball it. You know what I mean? Like, unless it's something that's super precise, I wouldn't split it into different UDIMs if you're really worried about the seam that much. For my hand, it's not like somebody's gonna look at it. As long as I'm applying colors the same way that to the hand, basically, that I am to the arm and the rest of the body, nobody's gonna know that it's not, it's all one thing. I mean, there might be a more precise way to do it. If there is, again, I just started using Substance recently. I'm not a big Substance guy. All right, so that was the last one, I believe. So if I hit frame, there you go, there's my box. So now if I go back and I just turn on solo for him, hopefully he's 19 inches tall. And he is 19 inches tall, right? If I was to grab the box of this whole thing, unit helper, yeah, I'm not exactly, there's a way to tell how big this is, but I don't care. I don't care right now. I just want him 19 inches tall, which theoretically he is. So now what I can do is I can turn on him, I can turn off the pieces I'm not using, the base, and if I do show all, then here he is. Now if I go in here and I select him and get closer and I go to my polyframe, you can see he still is not decimated, right? If I step down on him to the lowest subdivision level, this is what he looks like. So this is what I used to go into Maya. I made polygroups and then exported these to Maya for my UVs. And that's how so that's what you're looking at when you look at his hand in Substance, or his arm rather. This chunk right here is the blue part right here. Right, so that's how I made it, basically. So now I'm going to step up for him to the highest level. I know that I'm happy with this for the most part. I mean, I'm never happy with it, but I'm happy enough. Okay, so now I can take him and I know that he's about 19 million polys, so I can decimate him. So what I'm going to do is go under my plugin, instead of Scale Master, I'm going to go to Decimation Master. I'm going to go to Pre-Process Current. It's going to take some time to think about it. But what's going to happen is when it decimates, for people who are new to sculpting and 3D, it holds the detail, but instead of having polygons, you know, the square pieces, it's going to turn into triangles, and it might be much it'll be much more efficient. So you'll see where it doesn't have to have teeny tiny polygons everywhere. I'm not a 3D guy, you can tell by the way I'm explaining this. Makes big stuff small. Did it do it already? No, it's doing it right now. All right, so that's going to take some time. Let's see if there's any other questions here. Okay, cool. Thanks, Brian. I mean, the way I did it is I just kind of paint them, then just paint it out. It's not scientific, but does the trick. If there's something you really are worried about a seam showing, like I was worried that the fingers, you'd be able to see the seams where the fingers meet the hand, and you kind of don't, you know. Like if I come and turn the fingers on, turn the color off. Now mind you, these fingers aren't painted properly. But you can see that, let me turn off this pore instance. This is on the arms, right? Arm, let's turn, no, what's the one it's on? Okay. Anyway, I have a thing that kind of accentuates the pores, that's why it looks so hardcore. But if you look at it with the light, I mean, these fingers are their own separate pieces, and you don't really see a seam. You know, on the inside it's easy to hide it because you have that, you know, the the folds of the fingers. On the outside, a little less, but you know, it's not really showing there. Not that big a deal. Like, I was really worried about it where his chest is, but you can see like the chest is totally seamless, right? You don't really see that seam at all. Oh, I guess I would need the back as well. There's the back. So I think if I go into iRay, it turns everything on, but it renders better. You get a different background. Let's see if I can get something that shows it a little better here. It's the garage. Everything looks really yellow here. How about this one? I have to put my own HDRIs in here. Like, I'm really not loving these HDRIs, to be honest with you. The ones that come with it. But if I make it so you can see the background. It's blurry for some reason. I don't know. Scale is also crazy. You know what? Whatever. It's not the substance stream. It's a pixelogic stream. Nah. I mean, as far as rigging him, I don't really want to do that. I had his proportions are so ridiculous that even with weight painting, it still gets crazy. So I don't want to do that. I have a friend who's like, man, you need to rig him, you need to rig him. I don't really care about him moving. He's gonna be a statue, that's all I care about. All right, this thing is still computing. This is taking time here. I'm gonna close substance. I'm pretty sure that's not helping my situation. Let's close this, and I don't want to save. Come on, baby. Come on, buddy. If you are going into texture settings and add a scattering channel, enable SNS. No, I definitely want to do that. At this point, I was just painting it, but it did look very much like a piece of hard material. Didn't look like skin. I do want to add subsurface to it, definitely. I kind of fake it with that with the painting of the red and blue and yellow. That kind of fakes that subdermal kind of a look, but definitely want to do it. How many times did your PC blue screen? None of your damn business. No, it has been a lot lately, and I think it has to do with the new Windows update. I think. But also I played around with the overclocking, so that might be my bad. I turned it off, so it shouldn't have kept doing it, but it kind of was a problem for a while. All right, so now it's done processing, and you can see right now it's 18.9 million polys. I'm gonna go in and, or points, I'm gonna go in and set a decimation of about 20%. Now, let me turn the light down, because what I want to do is I want to keep all of my nice skin texture, right? So let's zoom in on something. Let's zoom in on his hand, right? I want to keep this skin texture. Crap, can't see when I do that. All right, wait, let me do this the other way. on it. All right, hold on a sec. I'm gonna get this, you guys. All right. I just want to make sure that I keep the detail when I decimate this. All right. So there we can see it. And let's go to decimation, master. I'm gonna say 20%. I could probably get away with something a little lower than this, but I'm gonna try 20 and see what it looks like. So it went down from 18 million, almost 19 million to almost 5 million polys. So let's see if I can make it a little lower actually. All right, so I'm gonna undo that. Wait a minute. I'm gonna undo that. Come on, man. All right. Well, hold on one second. Is this the decimated? Oh, okay. I stepped down. I didn't mean to. All right. I stepped down in the subdivision level. I was like, why did that number change? All right. So it's back to 18 million. Instead of saying 20%, let's try Z plugin. I wanna try 12. I'm probably gonna lose some detail, but let's try it and see what happens. Let's try 12%. And decimate current. See what happens. It's really not that bad, actually. All right, so now this is decimated. So now if I turn on the thing, it's all little triangles that are, see on the fingernail? The triangles now. So if I'm looking at it, this actually, shoot, this is not bad. And now it's 2 million. 2 million I can live with. All right, especially since it was 20 million a minute ago. All right, so there he is. There's him, is what I was gonna say. All right, there he is. If I turn off solo, there's his pants and all that. He's sized, right? What was I trying to do before? Oh, I was gonna paste him in the Zion. Tool, let's go back and load Zion again. Merged. All right, so now I wanna test this out. I'm going to grab him and copy, go over to the Zion, still weird, paste, frame, where, oh, it's on solo. Okay, so they're in different world space, but the size is right. The size is right. So if I move him up, come on, baby. If I move him up, all right. So I know now Hulk is going to be the same size as this entire dude, right? Which is going to be a big, big sculpt. But the good thing about that is the larger he is, the more details I'm going to keep. So I like that. And also Zion don't want none of this. You don't want none of this, homie. You don't want none of the Hulk action. All right, let's go back over here. So he's fine. Frame. So now what I can do is I can start decimating his clothes. Now, let me think about this. I want to cut and key him, and it really doesn't matter if he's decimated, really. because I'm going to use the Boolean features. So let's go back to these pants here. The pants, if I solo those out, these are 2 million polys, right? And I am pretty much done with the detailing on them. I do want to add the pockets and all that, have them in there. It's funny because I did stitches for half of the pants and didn't do the other half. I forgot to do the other half. I also noticed while I'm doing this, so now this is going to be an issue. I probably should do, and I can do this while I'm with you guys actually. The stitching is it's physical geo. So if you look at it, it's this brush that I have, and unless it's flush down with the surface, then that's going to be a problem when I print, basically. So let's go back to the pants, and I want to make new stitches, right? I'm just going to make some new ones, and it shouldn't be that big of a deal. So I'm going to clone these pants. This is how, when I'm doing stuff for clients, normally what I'll do is I will kind of split off the piece that I want, so then it's only 2 million as opposed to dealing with that big giant, you know, composite of everything. When I like it, I'll copy it and paste it back into the main file. So I'm going to save this as working pants. Hulk. Not that one. I want Mike Tools, Sculpt, Hulk, ZBrush, standing. All right, let's call this. It's already called jeans. Jeans stitches. All right. So now what I can do, this has subdivision levels, I think. Does it? Maybe it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You know what? Oh, I forgot. Okay. This was a decimated mesh that I had that I went in, and all these dark areas that look like sketching is where I used the Sculptris Pro to sculpt in details on a decimated mesh, which was pretty fun. All right, so let's go now. There are no subdivision levels to this. If I click on my brushes and I go to my mic brushes and I go to my stitches, there's one I have. Oh, I am in master. This is the one I want. So I just took kind of all my stitches and put them in one. And if I want to have like a zigzag stitch and I grab on it, I can do this. If I have a larger brush, you can see it. Oh, you can see it. Yeah, so like that's a zigzag or whatever, but obviously I don't want a zigzag stitch. So I'm gonna say undo. Okay, I'm gonna switch to, oops, I'm gonna switch to a double. I had to check, change stitch, size it, and let's do this. Okay. And now, I don't want the stitches to look like cartoonish, because I have seen, because people are printing these, you know, they're printing these quarter scale statues. In order for the stitch not to disappear, they do it really big, but then it looks like it's stitched with yarn, which looks silly to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink the size of my brush down and then click on that line, and then the size shrinks down. Now I probably will lose that, like that's going to get lost. So maybe like a happy medium, right? That's not bad. So the size of this brush is 10. So I know I like that. And I I am happy with that stitch. Now I do see areas where it's penetrating through the mesh, and it's going to look just like that when I go to print this. All right, so I don't want that. So what I would do is I would go and grab my brush and just kind of pull it out to the surface. This is the tricky part, because if I pull it too much, then it's hovering above the surface, and then that's not going to be that's not going to work either, right? If I look to the side here, then I can see that some of these are going to stick up. I'm going to want to make this a little smaller and push these in. This part is crazy tedious, right? Like I just did a piece for someone where the guy's wearing jeans, and he's a little more cartoony. I don't even know if he has stitches. He's more stylized, but this is a pain. But you know what? The thing about it is, when you do it and it looks right, then man, oh man, it's totally worth it. So since I've already spent about 1,000 hours on this guy, it's not, why would I not spend time making the stitches look good? It's kind of stupid not to do that. All right, so that's cool. My friend Odell is working on this penguin piece, and he's got a top hat that has stitching on the brim, and it's physical geo, and he went to a render yesterday in some application, V-Ray, and it looked really, really good. Like those stitches looked amazing. All right, so now I know I want to do the rest of the stitching here. Let's do it real quick. A little less talking. I spent a lot of time talking. Go back to my brush, the master. Make sure I have my double chain selected. I know it was supposed to be 10, which it is 13 now. Let's make it 10. Oops. Size 10. Okay. I do have lazy mouse turned on, right? Because I want this to kind of match down to the surface. This is where it's going to get crazy right here. Probably would make sense to go, let's see. That. All right. Then I can just kind of keep going. What time is it? 11:38. So I think I have another hour and a half. And if you just hover near the edge of the stroke, you can pick it up. All right, so that's cool. All right, it's that one. I can click off of it. I can fix them after I get these down here, but I want to try to just get the lines on here first. That's a little high. It's easier to draw it down in the right place than to move it after the fact. That's better. How are you guys adjusting to working at home? I mean, I've been doing this since 2004, but I know there's a lot of people who are used to working, in the office or in studios and stuff. It's probably a bit of a shock to you. How's everybody doing with that? You lose track of days. I know I do anyway. Right, let's see. What else is going on? Did you do your UVs with UV Master? Yes. Yes, I did. Last question. Sculpt in a T-pose. Hey, thanks, Kevin. I don't know if I missed you or not. Yes, started in a T-pose and then broke symmetry early. One of the things that I always talk about in these streams is that I do better when the character's in pose and has an expression. I don't do very well when he stays in a T-pose and then pose it later, especially after I do detailing, because it all kind of gets torn up and I have to resculpt it anyway. So seeing the guy in a dynamic pose helps me kind of figure out the way that I want to do a lot of stuff. How you bake the UDIM? I used Maya and made the UDIMs there, and then just saved it out. Master. Wait, how do you bake the AO on this guy? Normal AO? What you talking about, Willis? You received 100 messages today on Restream, yay! Alright. Those are the most detailed pants you've ever seen. Hey, nice, thank you. And I sculpted them all myself. Again. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's a culture shock, man. I notice a lot of people are they're just acting like nothing's going on. It's crazy. It's a whole lot of folks outside just hanging out, doing whatever. Seems a little bad to me. You don't want to do that now. But it's whatever. Alright, that's that. Shout out to Sideshow Collectibles, by the way. All of this is because I'm a fan of statues. Me doing this, I used to just paint stuff and collect statues, and I would get yelled at for spending so much money on the guys. But I knew that one day I wanted to make my own, so now I can, you guys. Alright, I don't know about that. That's not the way that's supposed to look. It's supposed to be a single. Alright, so I do have single needle stitches also. Let me switch to one of those. Undo what I just did. If you haven't seen it, by the way, I have my first piece for sale on Sideshow. It's a print painting I did of ODB from Wu-Tang. So if you're a hip-hop head or just a fan of the Old Dirty Bastard, you can now order it. It's coming soon, you guys. Yeah, this is just kind of a pain. There's a reason why I did not do the stitches. I saved them for last, and it's because I don't like doing them. But when you put them on there, this goes from being pants to being jeans, which is important. You know what? I think it's this particular stitch. I have another one. Yeah, I want the short chain stitch. Let's try this one. That's better. All right. Switch back to a double. Do this part. Yeah, it's funny. A lot of this stuff you probably would never notice. I don't know. I'm the same way doing this as I am when I do my paintings. It's a little bit of, ADHD that kicks in where I do stuff that only I see. But, sometimes people see it and they appreciate it. So that's nice. Wait a minute. Where is this supposed to be? I did one above and one below. It's only supposed to be one. That's better. Alright, there's that one. Now I have pockets for him too, which you need to have the pockets in order to see where the stitches go. Let's copy these and paste them. Those are the back pockets. And then I have a front pocket, coin pocket. Copy this one and paste it. That goes in the front. Alright. So I think I can just draw the stitches on here but have the other subtool selected. So let's see if it works here. Oh, I have subdivision levels on this one. I think I have it on both of them actually. I do. Alright, so let's do this. I'm going to merge this down with the other pocket. Yes. Okay, I'm going to, what is it now? It's $3.99. I'm going to delete lower subdivision levels. Subdivision levels? Delete those. And now I can decimate this and it'll be even smaller. Like right now it's 400. Let's pre-process current. This should go much faster because it's small. Which it did. And then I will decimate this as well. And I'm going to say I want this to be, let's say, 35,000 K or 35,000 polys. Okay, so I kept all the detail. Now it's teeny tiny. And now I can go in and I can draw my stitches. Right? That was weird. Let's do it again. Okay, that's fine. I knew that was going to happen. Let's do it here. Okay. That doesn't look right. Pockets look. Single needle. It's a single needle, you guys. It's not double. Does it matter? No, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it right now. All right. Brush. This one. Single needle, short. Size 10. All right, let's do this again. Wait, no, that's not right. Size 10. Okay. That's better. That one. That one. And if it's hanging off the edge, I can just delete that one after I grab it. It's all right. Oops. If it's too close, it tries to grab the other half. All right. Close enough. Let's do this one real quick. Okay. All right, so that's that. Now, turn off the hidden stuff. Come back over here. Let's do these. All right, I think that's it. No. There's some here too. Okay, that and then this. That's not good. Oh, sorry guys. There's a fire alarm. One second. Hey, I hate to say this. That's for my building. So I think I'm gonna have to clear out and come back. This is yeah. So I will. If the place is not on fire, I'll be back. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta bounce for a little while.